So here's our listener wants to know something about demons and Satan. Okay, so here's the question for today. They want to know, did anybody in the Old Testament have the spiritual power to cast out demons like Jesus and the apostles did in the New Testament? My thinking is their premise is based on the fact that they don't see anybody doing it in the Old Testament.
Right.
Which is technically true.
Yeah.
That-
And I'll just say, whoever came up with this question, this is a question I had never, ever thought about.
Wow.
Me neither.
I've
When-
never, ever had that thought before.
Nope.
Okay.
So I did not directly have an answer to this question other than, So,
Yep.
So I did, and I hate to use this word right now because we've made such fun of it, but I did a little research, which means
did
I
you read the article?
I read one headline. No,
I looked at a picture.
yeah, and it looked good to me. So okay,
I ate some Satan chicken.
yes.
There was an
Nothing.
actual photo of Moses casting out.
So there's a scholar out there that I do not recommend most people dive into. Not because he doesn't have good stuff.
Jason getting a takedown. This is a hot
That's
take.
my hot take right there. Not because he doesn't have good stuff to say, but I think he gets off in the weeds often a lot.
His name has been removed for legal reasons.
No, I'll tell you his name
Okay.
because I think he's great. I think he's done a lot of good work, especially in the Old Testament area, and in helping us understand how the Old Testament foreshadows a lot of the things we read in the New Testament. It's just really, really thick and really, really deep, and I
very
wouldn't want to.
heady
Yeah, and
not practical application.
not for the common person, and because I'm telling you, I tried for a little bit and I enjoyed some of his stuff, but then it just got over my head. Anyway, his name's Michael Heiser. He's got a lot of stuff. He's got a YouTube channel. You can watch his stuff. He's straight up. I think he's a good scholar. But he had some stuff to say about this that I thought was interesting, and it's stuff that, again, in the end, I don't think this has a whole lot of bearing on our following of Jesus, but it's interesting stuff to know.
Sure. Right.
So, and our questioner wants to know. So, one of the points that he made, I heard him talk about this very thing, is he said, you're right. He said the power to drive out demons was not something practiced very much in the Jewish world, in the Old Testament world. However, he said it's not explicitly written in the text, but tradition, in the Jewish tradition, and the scholars and the rabbis back in those days they had categorized the Psalms into certain. Psalms would be used for different purposes, okay?
Right.
So some would be strictly for worship, others for prayer, supplication, all of those kinds of lament, all of those things. And he said, and not very well known is the fact that some rabbis had categorized certain psalms to be used for the driving out of demons.
Right.
For the spiritual warfare, as we like to call it. And so he said, and all of them were Psalms of David. And that David had written these psalms for the purpose of prayers that would help in this area. Okay, so among the Old Testament scholars, they believed that the Jewish rabbis believed that David had that power from God that was given to him. He said, which then of course led them to the teaching that when Messiah would come, who they would, of course, refer to as the son of David, coming through David's line, he would not only possess that power, but would then have it even greater.
Yeah.
So when Jesus comes on the scene, one of the first things he begins to do is
Right.
this spiritual warfare,
Right.
casting out of demons, and that was, to that culture, that was a big, huge sign, a big, huge symbol of saying, I'm the son of David, the Messiah you've been waiting for, who has power to cast out demons like nobody before me and no one since. And so again, and then his giving that authority to his disciples was just an extension of that.
Right.
Because we all know that the signs that Jesus did, the miracles that Jesus did, they weren't just for the purpose of what was being done.
That's right. They were signs.
They
Right.
were all signs. That's what Jesus calls them.
Yeah, that's right.
These signs that you see. Like,
That's right.
Like that passage when John the Baptist asked, are you the Messiah or we should wait for somebody else? And he said, well, you go tell John this. And he just lists out all the things he does.
Right. That's right.
And he uses that as one of them.
That's right.
I'm casting out demons, the blind see, the lame walk, blah, 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 the whole thing. And then the good news is being preached to the poor. You tell him that. All of those things that he lists in that list of the things he has done and is doing were signals to that culture of this is what Messiah is going to do.
That's right.
And so the new has come. The one you've been waiting for. I'm him. You don't need to wait anymore. So did anyone in the Old Testament have that spiritual power? So that's your answer. That was a tradition among the Old Testament scholars of that day. But then, of course, Jesus came and completely fulfilled that.
Yeah. With that said, do we know of a specific instance? I can't give you a specific instance, but I don't have any reason to doubt what Michael Heiser just said.
No, I don't either. I mean,
I don't have any reason, but if you're asking where in the Old Testament do you see it, well, you don't.
you don't. It comes from extra biblical readings.
I'm guessing the Talmud and stuff like that.
Yeah, the writings of the rabbis and
Right.
the teachings that you don't get specifically from the Old Testament.
Yeah.
But and a lot of tradition that comes through that he, of course, has studied and scholars like him have studied. And then you take all of those pieces and you can put them all together and you see all of this, which is, again, like I said, it's good stuff. It's interesting. It's intellectually stimulating, I guess. But in the end, it doesn't have a whole lot of bearing on us today.
Yeah.